Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator for the First Descendant, and today we're going to be talking about Ultimate Luna's bossing build. I'm going to show you how to put it together, what you need to do, and a couple of different styles that you can actually use when bossing, because not everybody's going to be able to play Glass Cannon, so I'm going to walk you through all of that. Alright, now if you guys haven't already done so, please make sure you register me as your content creator. Link is in the video description. I'll be very grateful to those of you who support the content by doing that. Alright, now, one last thing. If you haven't also done this, make sure you check out my music on SoundCloud. We'll be releasing new tracks very soon. Alright, so I hope you guys will look forward to that. Thank you to everyone who's been playing my tracks and playing my music. Y'all are the real ones. Y'all are the real ones, all right? Helping me get my second career off the ground. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started. When it comes to bossing with Ultimate Luna, first and foremost, you are going to want to get a sexy skin. I'm just kidding. That's obviously not a requirement, all right? First and most important thing is your reactor. Now, I'm going to try and speed through this because a lot of the stuff you already know from my Luna build video. There aren't too many changes, but there's a couple of things you need to take note, okay? Let me remove my camera and let's get started. First and foremost, when it comes to your reactor, make sure you've got a sniper rifle mounting because you're going to use the A-TAMS with this, okay? The options for your reactor, it's a non-attribute tech as per normal, but you are going to need additional skill attack when attacking a Colossus and skill critical hit damage. Why is that the case? Her main damaging skill is tech-based, all right? All of her skills are tech-based, so you want to increase your damage as much as humanly possible, all right? When it comes to external components, I'm going to show you the options and the roles on each one. Make sure you get a full Enlightened Mage set. This is so that you can use the 4-set effect, where if you trigger 3 skills, you will get the Truth buff, which for 15 seconds will give you 84% non-attribute skill power, which is absolutely crucial in this build to maximizing your damage, okay? Here are the roles on the auxiliary power. Make sure you screenshot and follow, okay? Here are the roles on the sensor. Make sure you screenshot and follow. This is one of the few times where screenshotting is good. Here are the roles on the memory. Make sure you screenshot and follow. And to the one person who did ask, yes, I permanently have throat problems. Okay, here are the roles on the processor. Make sure you screenshot and follow. All right, there you go. Now you understand about the reactor and external components. Let's get into the weapon build. The weapon build is the most crucial part of this because she's going to take 30% of that damage and apply it to the Stormhanger. Elemental damage is important, okay? So let me walk you through it. The A-TAMS that we're going to use is a toxic rolled A-TAMS. You can ignore the weapon cores. The weapon cores do not affect her. I was wrong about this. We did retest it. Those of you who saw the stream and who got the updated information, please remember weapon cores do not affect her. Only the weapon options, as well as the modules, will affect Ultimate Luna, all right? So we'll go through all of that in a second. But for your weapon options, make sure you have an A-TAMS that has Toxic Attack, Bonus Firearm Attack to Colossus, Weak Point Damage, and Firearm Attack. Why no criticals? Because that does not affect your damage. The additional damage cannot crit, okay? At least to the best of my knowledge. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Okay, in terms of the actual modules you are going to use, we have... I build my A-TAMS flexibly, so I make sure that they can put in all 3 elements other than chill, because chill we use the piercing light. So toxic enhancement, toxic gun barrel, okay? That's what you're going to need to have. Why? Why toxic gun barrel? This provides 90% toxic attack, whereas priority only provides 50%. When you enter fever time, your fire rate is locked at 666. Weird choice right there. Okay, but anyway, your fire rate is locked at 666. This cannot be modified even by fire rate up. Fire rate up will only affect your firing rate outside of fever time. So, in order to neutralize the negative fire rate from toxic gun barrel, all right, we use fire rate up right here. And this gives us, well, the best bang for our buck, essentially. All right. So this is what I'm using. Now, in terms of the actual build, first and foremost, you want rifling reinforcement, action and reaction, charge amplification. All of this ups your raw damage. Then, after you get your raw damage, next thing, get your elements. Toxic enhancement, toxic gun barrel. Very crucial, both are must-have. Last but not least, put in all your weak point modifiers. Weak point sight, weak point detection, and Special Sight, all of which work, which is beautiful. Then last but not least, you have Fire Rate Up and Stand Stabilizer, okay? Stand Stabilizer is just a dummy choice that we put in because it has an extra 1% firearm attack, which is not really much, but hey, squeezing a few extra drops might help, right? And also, Recoil actually affects her ultimate weapon, which is absolutely hilarious, but I mean, it doesn't change it much, but it might help many of you guys stay on target when beaming a target, all right? So you can put that in, and if you don't want it, you can replace this with anything else that would increase firearm attack. But yeah, we found that this was the ideal choice, okay? So now that your A-TAMS has been rolled, okay, so you've got a toxic A-TAMS that's perfectly rolled. Well, mine isn't perfectly rolled, but you get what I mean. All right, the build is set up. Now, what you need to understand are the Descendant modules. So, let's go in. For her Descendant modules, your trigger module is Power Beyond. Everybody should already know this. There is no differences. Okay, Power Beyond. And you'll notice that the build is exactly the same, except for one thing. In place of Decimator, okay, we have Skill Expansion. Why is that the case? Well, Fever Time's range is now 7 meters. This will buff Fever Time's range to approximately 13 meters, which is absolutely excellent. By having the extra range on it, it makes it easier to transmit the Fever Time damage, which deals quite a bit of extra damage to Stormhanger when you trigger your Fever Time. All right, this is what will allow you to, without bugs or exploits, achieve a good 35-second kill time. With bugs and exploits, you can potentially achieve more, but we don't do that here. All right, obviously. We prefer to do it the legit way. Now, there's another thing. Instead of Battle of Stamina, if you want to go full glass cannon, most people will put in Dangerous Ambush. This is because you can actually inflict a stun on Stormhanger by triggering your second skill first, which again is absolutely hilarious. By doing so, you can maximize the amount of damage dealt to Stormhanger, which will also allow you to absolutely shred him to pieces. Okay, so this is what some people do if they prefer glass cannon. If you don't like glass cannon, then we use Battle of Stamina, and we're good to go. Okay, that is basically the difference between the build we had before and the build we have now. All other modules are exactly the same. You can screenshot them if you want, because you should already know this from your farming build. Because if you did not follow the farming build, how did you build her up in the first place? All right, people will always build the farming build before building the bossing build, so you should not need an explanation on the rest of the mods, since they are exactly the same as what we're using before. If you're confused on any of them, ask on stream or ask in the comments, and I'll happily tell you. Okay? All right. Oh, and don't forget, Battlefield Concert is the Transcendent mod we're using. All right. Now, let's move on. Inversion Reinforcer. Okay. Bossing is different from your farming. Why is that the case? You don't need this one because you're not defeating any enemies, right? You're only going to defeat Stormhanger, so you can't even trigger this anyway. So what we're going to use is Selective Neurostimulation to get a bit of extra MP. Deploy Hardened Shell, of course. We got to always have a little bit of resistance, okay? If you don't like this one, you can use Pain Suppression. I don't like this one. I don't know why some people do. And the rest are, in my opinion, not worth it. So I just use Deploy Hardened Shell. To me, it helps the most, okay? And Deploy Resonance Device also helps a little bit, squeezes out a little bit of extra duration for your ability. And that's really about it. So this is what I have. You can't use any of the focus rounds because your unique weapon doesn't trigger them. And you can't really use anything from this tree either. So this is just the best that you've got for bossing, okay? All right. Arche tuning. Lo and behold, it is exactly the same as what we had before. Okay, this is because your Arche tuning doesn't change either. The only thing that's changed is my mutant cell, but I am going to tell you, we did a test on stream. Whether you use Arche maximization or Arche chain catalyst, it's exactly the same, and I just didn't want to extract it again. So you can use either or with the mutant cell. The mutant cell actually makes such a minimal difference. It really, really doesn't change that much. Okay, your kill times are going to be roughly the same. Okay? All right. Now, you understand everything. Let me actually show you how you're going to play this. So, dummy run first. Okay? When you are on the ground, do you see the reticle? Do you see that reticle up there? You got to aim that at Stormhanger because your fever time Okay, I'm just going to show you a demonstration. Your fever time is essentially a beam that, you know, goes forward from where your reticle is. Do you see that? Okay, let me show you again. Okay, we replenish.
Let the show begin.
Your fever time is essentially this. It's a beam that goes forward. Do you see that? So that beam and a bit of RNG is what's necessary to accomplish the best clear times. So that is how this whole thing works. Okay? You are essentially relying upon where your reticle is, and you've got quite a bit of range with this, so just so you know. You can actually trigger it from about here-ish. Alright, this is the actual range. So if you're about this distance from Stormhanger, you'll be able to hit him. You don't want to be too close because it's hard to hit with the beams. So you want to be like slightly underneath him. Kind of like that, alright? Now, what you're going to want to do, alright, in the actual fight, and I will show it to you, but here's what you're going to want to do, alright? Once you are fully charged up, you want to hit him with everything you've got and start busting. Alright, this is how you're going to deal all the damage you need. Now, I'm on the wrong weapon. You're supposed to do this with the, Sorry, you're supposed to do this with your A-TAMS, so make sure you switch to the A-TAMS, unlike me. Alright, and I'll show you once again. Okay, aim for the fella. Get all three of your buffs going, and then bust. Alright, this is what you want to do. Try to hit a weak spot if you can, and you'll deal a lot more damage to him. And that's what you're going to do. Until the fever time ends, you're just going to damage him with everything you've got. Alright, you see that? This is how you're going to deal all the damage you need to Stormhanger. Now, you've seen the demonstration. Let's go show you the real deal. We're going to take on Stormhanger, and I'm going to show you two builds. First is without Dangerous Ambush. This is the non-glass cannon build. It is slower to kill him, but it does work well. Alright? The only thing you got to understand is that, look, RNG is a factor. You're not going to get the fastest kill time each time, but you'll get a pretty satisfactory kill time. It is faster than Nell, all right? But it could vary between 25 seconds all the way up to 35 seconds. Depends on how many crits you hit. And your crit rate is like 55/60, so, you know, you kind of get the picture, yeah? Okay. All right, let's go. Alright, here we are. Now, when the fight starts, first and foremost, immediately start charging. You don't have to hit a target like I taught you before, right? This is so that as soon as the fight starts, you're pretty much ready to go. Alright? Get in position and start hitting him hard. Do you see that you can stun him? Do you see that you can absolutely stun him? Alright? Bust everything that you have on him. Now, until he gets down to about 50% of his health, you just want to slowly ramp it up, All right. There we go. Fire it up, and that's it. So just like that, 35 seconds. Exactly as I said. All right. If you screw up, it might be longer, but this is the safe way of doing things. This is the safe method, the safe mode. Yeah? Okay, so this is the safe way of doing it. You'll just absolutely wipe out Stormhanger just like that. Okay? But this is for those that want to play it safe. If you want to play it for real. Okay. Change this to Dangerous Ambush. Okay, here we go. Again. Alright. Now, this is the real deal. Alright, this is the real deal. You're going to see the real deal with the real steel. Okay, as soon as you get in there, start charging, start charging. All right, we're ready. We got really lucky this time. We're fully ready. Okay, get into the perfect position. Underneath him, remember? Okay, as soon as he's ready, you've already stunned him. So you're already dealing additional damage this entire time. All right, thanks to the Dangerous Ambush. Thanks to the ambush that is dangerous. Okay, hit him with everything you got. Now, if I was more on time, I could have done like 20 seconds right there. But yeah, no exploits, no tricks. All right, no unlimited fever time, as you can see. We just did it. We just did it right there. So if you can handle the glass cannon style, because look, sometimes you'll be unlucky and he's just going to wipe you out straight away. But if you want to take the risk, 22 seconds, okay? All you got to do is remember that... Wait. Am I using the correct weapon? I'm using the correct weapon, right? Phew, this is an A-TAMS. I thought I was using the wrong weapon for a second. My brain was just like... Pfft. Okay. Okay. So, Battle of Stamina, swap to Dangerous Ambush. Remember? Battle of Stamina is the one that's up here. But if you want to go Glass Cannon, and you're satisfied with that, Dangerous Ambush, and you can literally stun him by using the second skill first, and then just bust. You can just absolutely bust on him and win. Alright? So that's how you do it. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Alright? Thank you all for supporting my content. Don't forget to support my SoundCloud if you haven't already. Alright? I'm counting on you guys to keep playing my tracks. Thank you so much to everybody who's done so. Alright? I really appreciate you guys. And last but not least, let me thank all the lovely people. Once again, the list has not been updated yet because I've been very busy. As you guys know, I got the Borderlands 4 key, recent sponsorship by Shape of Dreams, Raid Shadow Legends, lots of stuff to do. So I'll update this list tomorrow. Thank you so much. All right. And have fun slaying bosses with Ultimate Luna. She is so freaking awesome. See you later, fam.